Her hair was shaved to humiliate her. Her head was beaten bloody while she was forced to crawl on the ground. During those years of the re-education of intellectuals, professors from Tsinghua University were banished to Carp Island in Nanjing, Jiangxi province. Schistosomiasis was so common there that a labor camp originally located there had to move. Upon touching the river water, these professors were infected and developed cirrhosis, losing their ability to work and live. Everyone thinks to be clean is good, and to be dirty is bad. The Chinese Communist Party promotes getting mud all over the body and covering your hands with calluses, and celebrates your hands are dirty and your feet smeared with cow dung. People like this were considered to be the most revolutionary, and they could attend universities, join the party, be promoted, and become party leaders. Affection is a natural human emotion. Affection among husbands and wives, children, parents, friends, and in society is normal. Through incessant political campaigns over several decades, the Chinese Communist Party has forced people to fight with people. Under intense pressure and terror, it has been common for parents and children to report on each other, or husbands and wives to expose each other. Family relations were often renounced. The Communist Party suppresses human beings' virtuous nature. It promotes, encourages, and uses the evil side of humanity to strengthen its rule. The Communist Party has systematically destroyed universal moral standards in an attempt to demolish the concepts of good and evil and of honor and shame that have been maintained by humankind for thousands of years. The Communist Party crushed Chinese people's courage to speak the truth and turned Chinese people into spineless cowards. In the name of helping the Communist Party rectify itself, the anti-rightist movement in 1957 called upon intellectuals and the general public to make suggestions to the Communist Party. When people bravely and sincerely talked about what was really on their minds, they were accused of being anti-communist, labeled as rightist, and sent to forced labor for 1 or 2 decades. Their families were implicated. In 1969, a regular female Communist Party member, Zhang Zhixin, was thrown into jail for expressing a different view on the Cultural Revolution than the official one. Because she held on to her view, prison guards many times stripped off her clothes, handcuffed her hands behind her back, and threw her into prison cells filled with men, letting the prisoners gang rape her. She became insane in the end. Yet in spite of this, when she was about to be executed, the prison guards feared she would cry out in protest. They held her head down and sliced open her throat without any anesthetic. After the 10 years of the Cultural Revolution ended, in order to earn back people's loyalty, the CCP brought justice to many people, restoring their good reputation, including that of Zhang Zhixin. Nonetheless, it has always followed its tradition of persecuting people who dare to speak the truth. Without the party's permission, no media exposure of the dark side of the party is allowed. The International Organization of Journalists revealed that among all nations in the world, China has the largest number of journalists in detention. In 1998 and 1999, Zhang Weiping, chief of the Hong Kong-based Wenweipao newspaper liaison office in northeast China, published articles under an alias in Hong Kong magazines. The articles exposed government corruption and criticized a high-ranking official, Bo Shilai. As a result, Zhang Weiping was secretly arrested and sentenced to a 6-year prison term, allegedly for leaking state secrets and inciting subversion of the state's political power. His wife was also detained because she tried to help her husband. When officials at different levels were handling his case, they were all aware of the injustice, but no one dared to openly discuss it. By persecuting a man who dared to speak the truth, the Communist Party again showed the Chinese people the consequences of defying the party's will and speaking the truth. One cruel lesson after another have made the Chinese people consider honesty and speaking the truth synonymous with danger and asking for trouble. Lies and counterfeit merchandise prevail from government to civilian organizations. Although people's material wealth has increased, the trust and care among them has diminished. Engels said that freedom is the recognition of inevitability. Mao Zedong added, and the reformation of the world. This final touch fully brought to light the Chinese Communist Party's view of nature, namely, as something to be changed and to be conquered. The popular folk songs during the Great Leap Forward show the arrogance and stupidity of the party, showing how they dared to challenge nature. The lyrics go, "I can make the mountains bow and have the rivers step aside. There's no Jade Emperor in heaven, and there's no Dragon King on earth. I am the Jade Emperor, and I am the Dragon King. I order the 3 mountains and 5 gorges to step aside. Here I come." Indeed, the Communist Party has come. With it comes the destruction of the balance of nature and the original harmonious world. Under its agricultural policy of keeping grain as a key link, the Chinese Communist Party converted to farmland large areas of mountain slopes and grasslands that were unsuitable for farming, even filling rivers and lakes to make cropland. What was the result? The CCP claimed that the grain production in 1952 exceeded that of the nationalist period. The CCP did not reveal, however, that it wasn't until 1972 that the total grain production in China exceeded that of the peaceful Qianlong reign during the Qing dynasty. To this day, China's per capita grain production is far below that of the Qing dynasty, and is 1/3 of that of the Song dynasty, when agriculture was at its peak in Chinese history. The indiscriminate cutting of trees, leveling of rivers, and filling of lakes have caused drastic ecological deterioration in China. China's ecosystem is on the brink of collapse. The drying up of the Hai River and the Yellow River, and the pollution of the Huai and the Yangtze rivers sever the lifeline of the Chinese nation. With the disappearance of grasslands in Gansu, Qinghai, Inner Mongolia, and Xinjiang, sandstorms have entered the Central Plains. In the 1950s, under the guidance of Soviet experts, the CCP built the Sanmen-sha hydroelectric power station on the Yellow River. To this day, this power station has the generating capacity of only a medium-sized river, despite the fact that the Yellow River is the second largest river in China. To make matters worse, the project has also led to an accumulation of mud and sand in the river's upper reaches, and raised the height of the riverbed. Because of this, even a moderate flood brings enormous loss of life and property to people on both sides of the river.